So, tadevam mithyadhyasa nibandanatvapi loka vyavaharasya. So the loka vyavahara is there only due to mithyadhyasa, wrong knowledge. Siddhamidam, this becomes clear, established. Na vastusan sansara. Sansara is not real. Vastusan means real. Na vastusan sansara. Sansara is not real. Apitu, but on the contrary, Bhranti kritaha eva iti. He is born of Bhranti. It is a Bhranti about the truth. You can't have Bhranti unless there is a reality about which there is Bhranti. This gives a different direction to thinking. If the universe is a Bhranti, then about what? Now you can't have the Bhranti, you see, called the universe, without there being something which is independent of Bhranti, like mirage you can't see unless there is some sand. You can't see mirage somewhere away from the sand. That means wherever there is Bhranti, there has to be the truth. In and through the Bhranti, the very essence of Bhranti should be the truth. You can't have Bhranti is here and truth is elsewhere. That means if this is all Bhranti, then where is the truth? It should be right. Yeah, in and through. And yet unqualified by it. It is in and through the Bhranti. It is there where the Bhranti is. Bhranti is rooted in it without qualifying it. Mirage is rooted in it and without qualifying the sand. Therefore, the moment you say this is a Maya or a Bhranti, there has to be a reality, gives a different direction to thinking. You take off. Everything becomes different then. The uber-carboness in thinking comes to an end, I am telling you. The uber-carboness, the the uninformed cogitation about the truth. This messy cogitation about Bhagavan, that uber-carbon thinking about Bhagavan comes to an end. You become a vidwan. You become a real thinker. I say, if this is all Bhranti, then it has to be something. It has to pertain to something which is truth. You see? That is why apitu bhranti kritaha eva iti drishtam cha mithya jnanasya samyak jnana vinashyatvam drishtam cha. And it is seen by us in life. Mithya jnanasya, wrong knowledge. Samyak jnana vinashyatvam, negated by right knowledge. We know that wrong knowledge is negated by right knowledge. Number one, we know that wrong knowledge is negated. We know that wrong knowledge is indeed negated by right knowledge. We also know wrong knowledge is indeed negated only by right knowledge, no other way. Indeed it is negated by right knowledge. And it is negated only by right knowledge. And we know it. If this is all Bhranti, Bhranti is a synonym of wrong knowledge. Bhranti is a synonym of adhyasa. It is a synonym of viparita jnanam. It is a synonym of so many other words. Mithya jnanam, viparita jnanam, swapnaha, अध्यासः, these are all synonyms. ये तो सपना है। लोग कहते हैं ये साधु लोग तो ऐसा तो कहना ही है, ये तो सपना है। ये साधु लोग नहीं कहते ये सपना है। ये तो सपना है। अगर सपना नहीं तो इफ इट इज ट्रूथ, looking at the truth, you should have no possibility of unhappiness. You see, if the universe were real, there should be no possibility of unhappiness. You see? Therefore here he says, Samyajnana vinashyatvam ataha, therefore sansara anarthasya, the anartha. The sansara is anartha. Anartha, you don't like it. What is universally disliked, what is choicelessly disliked, is called anartha. I don't want you to become rich. Okay? Supposing. It's not that. Don't think I don't want you to become rich. In fact, without your becoming rich, I will get into trouble. You see, students must become rich. But supposing I don't want you to become rich. And if you become rich, मेरे लिए क्या अनर्थ हो गए? It's not. Jealousy doesn't come under anartha. Because what is not liked by anybody, what is disliked by everybody, what is disliked by everybody and choicelessly is anartha. Unhappiness is anartha. Nobody likes it. If you grow rich and I don't like it, हमारे लिए कोई अनर्थ थोड़ी हुआ. I become unhappy, you don't become unhappy. You like them, I don't like riches with you, but you like them, so it is not anartha. Anartha means what? Not subjective anartha, it is universal anartha. Yes. Adaha sansara anarthasya. And therefore our problem is not that something is happening, people are becoming richer when I don't want them to become rich, is not my problem. That is a subjective dislike. Like and dislike is not our problem. Likes and dislikes can add to my problem, that's a different thing. Likes and dislikes are not the problem. Vidya is the problem. Adaha samsaranarthasya mithyaඥānakritasya. What is this anartha? Born of false knowledge. Vinashaya, to destroy that mithyaඥānam, which is the cause for the universally undesired, undesirable, undesirable thing. All unhappiness is not only undesired, you can never desire it. It's not available for desiring, but it's something. Even if somebody says, what is wrong with this samsara, इतने अच्छे होते हैं, बढ़िया होता है, पेड़ पौधे हैं, एक माता जी था यहाँ, पागल होते हैं. माता जी लोग भी बहुत अमीर, माता जी लोग बहुत होते हैं ना, पढ़े लिखे होने पर भी थोड़ा पागलपन होता है. मैं सच बता रहा हूँ. इतना बड़ा वेदांत पढ़ रहे हैं, इतना आनंद की शास्त्र पढ़ रहे हैं, मोक्ष की क्या जरूरत, बार बार दिल्ली में जन्म लेने से क्या है? Who is going to oblige you to send you to Delhi again and again? क्या बात कर रहे हैं? If you are making a joke of it, that is all right. We also do it. But if you are feeling serious about it, that is why Vedanta is not meant for everybody. Everybody has a right over it. Everybody is not qualified for it. Therefore, even if you say, I like samsara, why do you like samsara? Because it makes me happy. That means you don't like samsara, you like only happiness. That means it will never be desired. Samsara is never desirable. Because samsara, the definition of samsara is dukkha. The definition of samsara is struggle. The definition of samsara is anxiety. The definition of samsara is tension. It's all unhappy. Dukkha. Can dukkha ever become desirable, even subjectively? Yeah, ji. That is why samsara is enough. So therefore, to destroy this mithya jnanam, kriyamanaha, what is done, arthavaneva jnanopadeshaha. Jnanopadesha आले निकाल के रखना जी दबाइए. हाँ जी, इस प्लास्टिक में क्यों लाते हैं? ऐसा बात लगा. Don't bring plastics to the class. समझ गए ना? If you bring class, if I see any plastic razzle, I'll ask somebody to take it out and put it in the. I understand. इतनी साल हो गया है, अभी भी सीखा नहीं है. Plastic makes noise. Why can't you bring something else? A cotton cloth. Adaha sansara anarthasya. Indiscipline is not good. Discipline makes us great. Adaha sansara anarthasya mithyagyana kritasya vinashaya क्रियमाणः अर्थवानेव ज्ञानोपदेशः. आप तो देख लीजिए. कभी कभी बोलना पड़ता है जी, बुरा नहीं मानना, लेकिन मैं क्या करूँगा. मैं तो आप लोगों से छोटे उम्र है, तो छोटा उम्र का स्वामी कुछ बोल रहे हैं ना, उसका कोई कदर नहीं करते हैं जी. बड़ा 90 साल का वाला स्वामी जी कहने से सब माता जी लोग डर होती है. ये तो अपना छोटा स्वामी जी है, अपना कहने से भी कदर नहीं. नहीं, मैं भी अभी 60 साल से ऊपर हो गया हूँ, अब बोल सकता हूँ. अभी छोटा नहीं रहा मैं, अभी तो मैं भी वृद्ध हो गया हूँ जी. Therefore, I am going to catch up with you. Ataha. Purva Pakti had said one thing, it is very interesting. There is no use of Vedanta. Only Brahmajnanam is useful, Karmakanda is not useful, he said. Okay? And now the Siddhanta is saying, my dear, even Jnanopadesha is useful. Why? Because it can destroy Mithya Jnana. Because even if you perform the entire karma kanda, the undesirable samsara doesn't come to an end. Even if one performed even Ashwamedha Yaga, it's not going to bring to an end samsara. Whereas Samyak Jnanam, because Mithya Jnanam cannot be destroyed through any ritual. Perception cannot be corrected through action. That is the principle. That's a very fundamental principle. The rest is all kahani. Perceptions cannot be corrected through actions which presuppose those perceptions. You see, running away from the snake, The perspiration born of snake perception cannot correct the snake perception. The result of an error cannot correct an error. Is a very clinching principle, G. It is as lucid as this. The symptom can't cure the illness. The symptom can't cure the illness. Shivering through malaria can't cure malaria. The entire karma kanda is nothing but a desire. It's a play of desire. And desire itself is born of mithya jnanam avidya. How can the desire, which is the result of avidya, correct avidya? Is it not amazing thing? Is not this clinching? If you can think this correctly and see for yourself, my God, there is nothing that is valid in life except Vedanta. Is it not really is it not like achieving the very goal of life? Is it not a great success? Despite 1,000 failures, if a person can clinch this thought, nothing is valid in life except Vedanta, which points myself, directs my attention to myself. Is it not a success? Is it not? Yes. And rituals are a symptom of the problem, desires are a symptom of the problem, dukkham is a symptom of the problem, and even if you, is another thing, even if you perform the rituals very deliberately, this very idea of deliberating to do something for happiness is a symptom of the problem. All deliberations are a symptom of the problem. Don't say symptoms are natural, but this is all done by deliberately. Say even you are deliberating to do something, your kartrutvam, you are planning to do something, that planning status is a symptom. That very surge is a symptom of the problem. Your will is a symptom, your choice is a symptom. Your decisions are symptoms. Our entire individuality is a symptom. Every faculty is a symptom. There is nothing other than the truth. Everything else is a symptom of ignorance. Are you able to follow? Which is symptom of the illness can cure the illness? Does it not come like a shock? This whole creation is a symptom of ignorance of the truth, and no symptom can cure the illness, and therefore whatever man does has no validity at all when it comes to his happiness. Except exposure to, except looking at oneself, except registering one's existence as eva anubhava swarupa. Our existence need not be inferred. Our existence need not be objectified. Our existence need not be freshly experienced. Our existence is already swarupa experience. I have to myself, therefore. My dear sir, karma kanda cannot correct mithya jnana. Ataha, therefore, saprayojanaha ayam. This is greatly useful. Studying Vedanta is greatly useful. Tattva jnanartham, for knowing the truth, jijnasa upanyasaha the search for knowledge. Jignasa Upanyasaha means, the Brahma Sutra, analysis of Vedanta beginning with the Sutra Athato Brahma Jignasa. Jignasa Upanyasaha iti abhiprayaha. This very desire to know oneself is greatly useful because it is indeed this jignasa about the truth. You see, any desire to know is a jignasa. Even to know physics is jignasa. To know chemistry is jignasa. But every jignasa doesn't destroy samsara. Brahma jignasa is different from physics jignasa, chemistry jignasa. In fact, what is happening in the neighboring house? To become curious, वो भी बड़ा जिज्ञासा होता है, क्या हो रहा है? What is happening? This is all waste. Because no jignasa, no jnanam can remove every jignasa, every other jignasa is a symptom of the problem. But even Brahma jignasa is a symptom of the problem, but it removes the problem. Even Brahma jignasa is born of avidya, because unless there is avidya, you will not make an effort for vidya. Even the effort for vidya presupposes avidya, but it destroys the avidya. Vidya also presupposes avidya, but vidya destroys avidya. Therefore, the only jignasa that is useful, that is valid in life is Brahma jignasa, and therefore education should help us to become great thinking people are. Thinking is nothing but being, is not doing. Thinking to discover that thinking is not required. We think and think to discover that the truth is not a thought. But that also one doesn't have to correctly think, because anything that is thought is also unthought. It begins and ends. It is thought and unthought. Whereas the truth is not thought. What is cannot be is not. What is cannot be is not, cannot be. Ho gaya ji. Therefore, Vedanta is saprayojanam. Now, I'll just, recollect. Karmakandi's student is aviveki. Vedanti's student is viveki. Mundako, this Kaivalya Upanishad, the introduction. And what is the subject matter of Karmakanda? Karma. What is the subject matter of Vedanta? Brahma. What is the sambandha there? Sadhya sadhana sambandha. Here it is pratipadya sambandha. Prayojana, coming back. There the prayojana means Vishaya Sukham. Here it is Mokshansara Nivritti. Call it Sansara Nivritti, call it Moksha Prapti. There the Prapti is external, here the Prapti is internal. Let me make a difference. Kya farak padta hai? External, internal distinction also is kind of a bhranti. That is Sukha Prapti. Here it is Sansara Nivritti. Here there is no Prapti. It is Praptasya Prapti. That is a Praptasya Prapti. It's a very different thing. स्वामी जी ये सब हम जानते हैं, आप बताइए जो आप नहीं जानते हैं वो आप बताइए। आप तो सब कुछ जानते हैं, लेकिन जो जानते हैं उसी के बारे में चलते रहना। एक बार ये उपनिषद पढ़ लिया, सारी टॉपिक मालूम है, दूसरा when you take the second उपनिषद, then also सब जानते हैं। हो Okay, next comes Avidya Upadana Vada Nirakaranam. From here onwards, great Vichara begins to be. Before I go to the topic is Avidya Upadana. Ignorance as the material. Vada. There is a theory which says that ignorance is the material for the universe. Nirakaranam. This needs to be refuted. Without refuting it, direction will not be taken. You will not be correct. You cannot enjoy Brahma Vichara. It doesn't, you are not stunned. It doesn't work. And it did not work in the case of many people because you look at the universe as something that is made of ignorance. Even if you say it is born of ignorance, ultimately you look upon it as made of ignorance. It is not made of ignorance. It is made of Brahman, ununderstood. Like snake is perception, it is not made of ignorance. The material for the snake is rope. Remember this phrase. The material for the snake is rope, not ignorance of the rope. My ignorance about the rope doesn't stand there as the snake. It is the rope that looks snake due to ignorance. Yes, agar, supposing if you can see the distinction. Which of these two prakriyas is right? Does ignorance stand as the snake there? Or is the rope that is only seen as snake, doesn't even stand as snake, it is only seen as snake due to ignorance? These are the two prakriyas. One prakriya is called Mula Vidya Prakriya. The other is called Adhyasa. Snake is Adhyasa, not is not made of ignorance. Similarly, just as a rope, snake is not made of ignorance, it is nothing but the rope. And when you understand it, ultimately when you probe into the snake, where does it resolve? In ignorance? If it were made of ignorance, then it would go back to ignorance. Does it go back to ignorance? Is it not a silly mistake? But it is silly, but very serious mistake about. It is a very serious blunder committed in a silly manner. Yes. And people are not always analytical, understand. People keep swallowing it. Do you know why many people just keep going in a Vedanta ka आनंद नहीं लेते हैं? Do you know why? सोचते जाने से एक दिन ignorance खत्म हो जाएगी. ऐसा नहीं होता है. ऐसा थोड़ी है. You will have to, first of all, in fact, it is not Brahmajnana is not the result of a long time. Correct thinking is different from long, something. The moment I say that snake is made of the rope, in that manner the universe is made of Brahman, and that Brahman I am, then you try to understand everything is rooted in the being, not in the mind. Because the mind also is rooted, your being becomes the topic only when you understand that universe is not made of ignorance. Did you hear the whole sentence? Universe is not made of ignorance. Universe is made of the truth. Now the next question comes. They all say, how how can consciousness be the material for the inert? For the inert, the source should be inert. I say, if the inert is made of the inert, then is it adhyasa? If the inert were made of another inert thing, would it be adhyasa? No. It would be Sankhya school, Sankhya always says this universe is inert. Because it is inert, the source also should be inert. So they try to trace the inert universe to the inert source called Prakriti. Is it not? If you also trace everything to the inert, they say ignorance is inert. It is Jada Padartha. Is ignorance Padartha? Is ignorance a thing? If you don't know French, that ignorance about French, is it another substance, thing? Is it material in nature? Therefore, supposing the universe, they say the universe is inert, therefore the source also should be inert. No. Brahma Sutra, Vedanta says the universe is Jadam, but the Karanam is Chetanam. That is why you can't infer it. If the source also were inert, then the inert cause can be inferred through the inert effect. Then Anumana would be Pramana, not Shabda. Shabda is isliye Pramana hai, because you can never infer the conscious source through the inert creation. Meaning looking at the inert world, you can't infer conscious source. Inference is based upon the similarity, inherited qualities. I can infer the milk to be the cause of the curd. I can analyze the qualities of the curd. I can analyze the qualities of the curd. And then immediately conclude, yes, this is born of buffalo milk or cow's milk or camel milk or some milk. Or at least ammonia milk. Could be milk, I think. It's the greatest. India has invented a new kind of milk called ammonia milk in Rajasthan. Your Rama. But can you really, can you infer if the source of the universe were also inert? If the source of the universe were also inert, then looking at the inert creation, one could easily infer inert cause. Then Shabda ceases to be Pramana. Bahut badi baat hai ji. If Shabda is a Pramana, then the source, it is not inferable. That means the source of the universe is not inferable. If it is not inferable, then there is a dissimilarity between the creation and the source. Creation is Jadam, the source is Chetanam. That is only possible through Adhyasa. And therefore, the universe is not made of ignorance. The universe is made of Brahman. Meaning, it is Brahman. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma, this is all Brahman. If it is all Brahman, why is it looking the universe? It is not looking the universe, it is seeing the universe. I can even say it looks the universe because it is not understood. Rope ununderstood, looks snake, koi baat nahi. Brahman, the unlimited, ununderstood, looks both the seer and the seen, the universe. Thus, It is only when we understand that Brahman is the source of the universe, source of this body, source of the mind, then I can, and that Brahman is our being, then everything is rooted in the being. Then your attention goes back to yourself not as a jiva, but as the Karana, as the sense of everything. You become this. That becomes a great spiritual journey. Discovering one's being as the essence of everything is a great spiritual study. If you say everything is made of ignorance, is it spirituality? It's spirituality. It's a silly blunder. Therefore, it is necessary. Swamiji, but some of the conventional schools in India, there is a big, long tradition of accepting ignorance as a substance and it is the material for everything. It's not for a long time, it is only for a few days. After Shankaracharya, some mistake happened. Otherwise, until Bhashyakara, the whole universe was explained as a adhyasa in Brahma, not made of ignorance about Brahman. Universe is not made of ignorance of Brahman. Because that is why Brahman is abhinna nimitta upadana karana. Therefore, what is the Jagat upadanam? Brahman is upadanam. Avidya is not upadanam. Therefore, what should be refuted? That the avidya is the upadana vadana. Means a school that believes that avidya is the upadana. Nirakaranam refutation. Clear? Have you understood the title? Here is the topic which refutes the school that avidya is the material for everything. Mithya jnana nimittaha ityetad bhashyam kechit anyatha vyachakshate. Each line is so difficult to explain. Mithya jnana nimitta, so great. You know, when Bhashyakara says mithya jnana nimittaha, when he says this whole thing is mithya, is due to mithya jnanam, some people interpret the word mithya jnanam not as erroneous knowledge, but as inert ignorance. Did you hear the whole thing? Mithya jnanam is not interpreted as erroneous knowledge. This universe is erroneous knowledge. Bhagavan says mithya jnanam. It is erroneous knowledge. They would interpret it as it is inert ignorance, false, inert ignorance, material. Mithya jnana nimittaha ityetat bhashyam gejadam yatha vyachakshate katham. How do they distort it? Mithya cha tadajnanam cha iti mithya jnanam. This is how, even the Vyakarana is all right. They will say mithya jnanam. It is ignorance and it is mithya, false ignorance, not false knowledge. There is false knowledge due to ignorance, not false ignorance leads to false creation. Mithya jnanam cha mithya jnanam. So, according to the actual tradition, mithya jnana means false knowledge. According to the actual tradition, mithya jnana means what? False knowledge, wrong knowledge. When we see the snake, what is snake? It is mithya jnana. What does it mean? Is it false knowledge or false perception or false ignorance? False satyas, it's false knowledge. It is knowledge. False conclusion. It's knowledge, a thought. They will say snake is not false knowledge. Snake is false ignorance because it is made of false ignorance. It is made of ignorance. It is not made of ignorance, it is a rope seen as snake due to ignorance. Of course, ignorance also is false ultimately because it's negatable. It's negatable in the knowledge of the rope. That's a different matter. But the material for the snake is not ignorance. Then what is ignorance? What is the role played by ignorance? Nimitta, reason. Ignorance is only nimitta for the snake perception, not the upadana. Did you follow the terminology? You have to follow the terminology. Otherwise, if you don't take interest in all these things, oh Rama, you will remain Mataji's. You should become Brahma Jijnasuji. Great. That I do not know the rope. Rope is the reason for snake perception. That is not the material. The material is rope itself, here also Brahman. That I don't understand myself is the reason for perceiving the whole universe, myself as a jiva, but the material is Brahman. Thus this vigraha means, this dividing the samasa, mithya cha, tad ajnanam cha mithya. It is mithya and it is ignorance. This explanation is wrong. It is mithya and it is ignorance. No, it is mithya and it is in the form of knowledge. Mithya jnana. It is mithya jnanam, not mithya ajnanam. This much you can capture. It is mithya jnanam, not mithya ajnanam. Jnanam is twofold. Mithya jnanam, samyak jnanam. If every jnanam has to be samyak jnanam, then there would be no problem then there would be no error. If every jnanam is samyak jnanam, then there would be no possibility for mithya jnanam, then there would be no samsara. Yahan par to problem hai. Ignorance is not twofold. Mithya ajnanam and samyak ajnanam. But jnanam can be mithya jnanam, samyak jnanam. Therefore mithya is in contrast to samyak. Therefore can there be mithya ajnanam and samyak ajnanam? Can there be a false ignorance and true ignorance? Kyaji. We can't have false ignorance and true ignorance. We can only have false understanding. Right? Understanding is two kinds. Mithya and samyak. Not knowing the truth is not two kinds. False not knowing and true not knowing. Is there something like that? Not know. I don't know the rope. That I don't know the rope. Is it two kinds? False kind of not knowing and true kind of not knowing. Ignorance cannot be divided into false and true. Whereas knowledge, therefore, on analysis, it has to be mithya jnanam, not mithya ajnanam. Bhashikara says clearly, pratyaya rupaha. Now why you say it is ajnana? And they swear this is what Shankaracharya means. Hey, that is what you think. He can never mean what is wrong in you. What are you talking? Therefore, snake is not false ignorance. It is false knowledge about the rope due to ignorance about the rope. Clear? Snake is a false knowledge about the rope due to ignorance about the rope. My being an individual is a false knowledge about myself due to ignorance about myself. That I am the body is false knowledge about myself due to ignorance about myself. You can't say I am the body, it's a false ignorance. If it is false ignorance, then is there a true ignorance? Then they will say, no, ignorance is always false. If ignorance is called mithya ajnanam, then born of that false ignorance there is a false perception. What is it? They won't call it mithya jnanam. They will say it is made of ajnanam and therefore it is mithya jnana because made of mithya ajnanam. False knowledge is called false knowledge because it is made of false ignorance. That is how they explain. Are you able to follow? False knowledge is called false knowledge because it is made of false ignorance. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. False knowledge is false knowledge because it is a distortion about a reality. A distortion about a reality is called, a distorted knowledge about the truth is called false knowledge. And therefore its material is the very truth. Why do I have the distortion? Due to ignorance. Therefore ignorance is only nimittam but not upadana. If you can capture this, we have accomplished in, oh my God, how much. You have accomplished so much. You will have justification to feel, I am taller than everybody in this world. Silently, without telling. Silent ego doesn't clash with others. Noisy ego disturbs everybody. Silent ego disturbs only you. Koi baat nahi. But it is not really, it is not ego appreciating anybody, not only me, anybody who appreciates this fact that the essence of creation is the truth, Bhagavan. The essence of our mind is the truth. The essence of our life is the truth, Ishvara. And it looks like this due to my ignorance about Ishvara. The one who sees it, you can think, whoever sees it is definitely far ahead of the jiva. Is an appreciation of a fact, not ego. Is an appreciation of a fact. It's not ego at all. I don't consider it as ego. Then, in this manner they interpret mithya jnanam nimittam upadanam yasya soyam adhyasaha mithya jnana nimittaha. And when they translate, when they interpret the mithya jnana nimittaha, the sansara is born of mithya jnana, then they interpret like this. Mithya jnanam nimittam upadanam yasya saha ayam adhyasaha mithya jnana nimitta. That word nimitta, they interpret it as upadana. Try to, without getting fatigued, listen the last sentences. They say ignorance, Bhashyakara says ignorance is the reason for adhyasa. Then they say, what Bhashyakara means is nimittam. By the word nimittam, when he says the reason, he means the material. Understand? The word nimittam means what? Upadana. Therefore, the false ignorance is the nimittam, even though Bhashyakara says, but what he means is upadana. Therefore, the mithya jnanam, the false ignorance, is the upadanam, the material for adhyasa. In this manner. Therefore, what is the samsara? Samsara is born of the false ignorance as its material. Therefore, the essence of samsara is ignorance. And if you say like this, the essence of samsara is ignorance, quite convincing. Anybody can say, हाँ सोच तो ठीक ही तो है, अज्ञानी तो है, इसमें प्रॉब्लम क्या है? The essence of dukkha, अज्ञानी तो है. You understand the problems? So now if you try to make a distinction as a teacher to the student, sir, the essence of this samsara is not ignorance, is the truth. इसमें नहीं पड़ता है. It doesn't go home. अच्छा लगता है कि ये सब अज्ञानी है, ये सब ब्रह्म है, अच्छा नहीं लगता. ये सब अज्ञान है. So that I can shirk it. Man is interested not in knowing the truth. He is more interested in shirking it. Shirk the stuff. Shirk the stuff. No, you can't shirk. You have to say, this is all made of the truth, and that truth is thou art, recognize it. And that truth looks like this because of ignorance. Ignorance is only a reason, not the material. Whereas they interpret ignorance as the material. Clear? Therefore, mithya-jnanam nimittam upadanam yasya soyam mithya-dhyasa mithya-jnana nimittaha ajnanam jnana-bhavaha iti shanka nivasartham jala-mithyapadam bhava-rupatvad ajnanasya. And the rest we will see in the next class. These are all very tough things. Each sentence, Rama, 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 because you have to be. For me, it becomes very easy to take a class. If you are fully awake, it is very easy. Or if you are all totally asleep, then also it is very easy. I can go on talking. Supposing you are half awake or half asleep, then I start wondering what is happening. It's either this way or that way. Fully asleep also I can manage. I can look at the pants and talk. No problem. I don't expect the pants to nod. But please, you should feel blessed to be exposed to not an ordinary thing, my God. Even in 1,000 lives, if you can clinch this one thought, you have got the result of. You have got the growth in yourself, the growth that you may not have put up in billions of lives. Clenching this one thought, the universe is made of the truth. And if you can see it clearly, how true it is, then you have put on yourself the growth that you may miss in thousands and thousands of lives. Yes.